Mr. Cuevas. Thank you for accepting to have this interview with me. My first question is, what are the main characteristics of CME therapy?
Okay, CME therapy got 8 characteristics, but the 3 main ones are: first, in CME therapy, we provoke the appearance of new motor functions, of absent motor functions. Second characteristic, we provoke these new responses based in automatic responses that should be resident in the blueprint map of motor control, exposing the child to gravity force and using distal grasp. So that will be the main characteristic. I don't want to talk too much about the rest, but that will be the big differentiation between CME therapy and the rest of existing motor therapies.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the distal points? Where do you start usually when you start the therapy?
To understand that point, is very good to use that example. In traditional therapy, whatever the name, it is when the child is failing to control a standing position, they use hand support to provoke the standing position, or standard devices that put the child with belts to get standing position, or bars to support, or walking frames. So always they do the entrance to the standing through the hands. In CME therapy, I do the entrance to the standing through distal grasp. What means distal grasp? For example, placing the child vertical and suddenly from hips to move the hands to the thighs, and then to move the thumbs below the knees, and finally to move the hands to the ankles. That is distal from the head. So with this maneuver, we provoke the internal reaction of anti-gravity in order to provoke like a domino effect in the brain that force the brain to react, almost like in a protecting posture, instead to help the child to stay himself by hands, which the hands create too much dependency anyway. And you can succeed to get that, but when you release the hand, the child collapses.
What are the other differences that you think there is between CME therapy and between the traditional therapy?
Well, traditional therapy is very wide, and that's we need to understand. It's not only one. It's a wide variety of therapies that are very similar, and in their principles, in the concept. And the main for me, what I was thinking in 1972 when I began to develop the concept of CME therapy, is resting in one concept: to provoke versus to facilitate. Actually, is the therapies working in traditional therapy, they use a lot the facilitation term and the action. And as you can say, the meaning of the word facilitation is to render easy for the person to do something. And as you can see, the word provocation is different. We don't render easy anything. We force or provoke the reaction versus facilitation. So one child that is taking first step, facilitating, hold the hands and make the child walk. Provocation, hold the child by ankles or by one ankles, or do exercise in which the child will take the step by himself and the system against gravity force. So that is the main point. And over that, I developed a big amount of exercise and equipment to succeed in the therapy.
Can you give us the example where you use the train that's out of the rail to?
Oh yes. I used to say something like a figure, very illustrative figure, to say that for me, a child that is not going, failing to drive his motor behavior ahead, like normal children, is like a train derailed, is out of the rails. And I used to say the concept without any intention of to aggravate anyone. But when I see traditional or other therapies working in the derailed train, they are painting the rail, the train, they are accommodate the furniture, they are something like that in the derailed car. And CME wants to put the car into the rails again to give the hope to go to the station. That it is, basically. And that's, I'm going to resume that the rail derail. How we can put the car on the rail, try to obtain a standing position at any cost from 7 months of age. Try to get a standing position. If you got a standing position control, you got everything for the future. It's not the tone control, it's not inhibit the adduction, it's not doing that, it's all the details that was plenty in traditional therapy. Details and muscle tone and this analysis of this or that, out of the way. What you need to try with different technique, put the child standing, because the standing position is the most important motor position in human being. That we born with that and we use all life. That's the point.
I know that you have many success stories over your long years of experience. Can you give me one of the examples of your success stories?
I have many, as you said, but I just come to my memory one because I want to mention that because this case, I will not mention the name, but it's a girl from Canada that was treated in the Canadian system in Ontario, and she suffered from diagnosis of congenital cerebellar hypoplasia. That means the cerebellum is not there. There's very little remaining tissue, and also she was affected on his ear ability, so she's deaf. And I mentioned that because she came to see me, the mother decided to come to see me here in Chile when the child was like 5.5 years old, and she was totally unable to stay standing. She was able to walk in a very difficult way, holding by both hands. That was traditional therapy drive her to do that. Actually, they were trying to make her to use walkers, and in the walker, because she didn't possess equilibrium, she was falling into the walker and opening the chin, whatever. So, and I mentioned that because I say begin 5.5 years, not at the usual time that I like when the children get 3-4 months. I begin with them, and I drive them in some cases very quickly to freedom. But this girl come of that and begin to work very, very hard, and I just, for every child that I try to do my best, but I don't have so much expectations because I know what means cerebellar hypoplasia. You don't have balance. And after 2 years of treatment, actually the girl is completely independent. And when you ask me, Ramon, what you did, I say, I don't know. I work. What happened to the brain? I don't know. Maybe the brain made connection. Maybe something happened there. But it's like border to miracle, something like that. But it's only I think, is the gift to the mother of the perseverance and belief that there are more means in therapy than the official thing that the people want to impose to everybody.
Well, thank you so much for answering my questions, and I hope my son Yusuf will be also another success story.
We hope so.
Like all the other children that are having and enjoying their physical independence thanks to your therapy.
Okay.
Thank you so much.